Your mind is under attack right now, and you're losing a war you don't even know you're fighting. Billion-dollar corporations have hired teams of neuroscientists, behavioral psychologists, and addiction specialists for one purpose: to capture and control your attention for profit. Every app notification, every social media feature, every news alert is a weapon designed to fragment your focus and keep you mentally scattered. While you think you're just staying connected and informed, you're actually being systematically trained to have the attention span of a brain-damaged goldfish. The enemy isn't just winning, they're winning so completely that their victims are paying them for the privilege of having their minds destroyed. Your inability to focus isn't a personal failing. It's the intended result of the most sophisticated psychological warfare campaign in human history. The only way to win this war is to recognize that it exists and fight back with the one weapon they fear most: sustained, disciplined attention on what matters to you, not them. Your career is being destroyed 8 seconds at a time. That's how long the average human attention span lasts today. 8 seconds. A goldfish can focus longer than you can. While you've been trying to succeed through hard work and good intentions, your scattered mind has been sabotaging every goal, every relationship, and every opportunity that matters to you. The most successful people in the world have one thing in common. It's not intelligence, it's not connections, it's not even talent. It's the ability to focus their mental energy like a laser beam on what matters most. Today, you're going to learn how to join their ranks right now. As you listen to these words, your phone is calling to you, your email is pinging, your social media notifications are stacking up. Your brain is already thinking about 3 other things you should be doing instead of listening to this speech. This is exactly the problem that's keeping you from the life you want. You've become addicted to distraction, and it's costing you everything. The research is shocking. The average knowledge worker checks their email every 6 minutes. Every 6 minutes. They switch between different tasks over 300 times per day. They spend less than 3 minutes on any single activity before their attention jumps to something else. This isn't productivity, this is mental chaos disguised as being busy. But here's what really matters. While you're jumping from task to task, from notification to notification, from worry to worry, your competitors are learning to focus. They're developing the ability to think deeply, work intensively, and solve complex problems. They're getting promoted, they're building wealth, they're creating the relationships and the lifestyle you want for yourself. Let me tell you about Robert. A talented architect I worked with last year. Robert had every advantage: top education, great connections, natural design ability. He was working on the biggest project of his career, a $1 million commercial building that would establish his reputation forever. For 6 months, he juggled this project with dozens of other commitments: phone calls during design meetings, email checks between client presentations, social media scrolling during his creative thinking time the night before the final presentation. Robert realized he had made a critical error in his calculations, a mistake that could have been caught easily if he had given the project his full attention for just 2 focused hours. Instead, those 2 hours had been spread across 6 months of scattered, half-present work sessions. He lost the contract, his reputation was damaged, his confidence was shattered, all because he never learned to focus. This is happening to you right now, maybe not as dramatically as Robert, but it's happening. Every time you check your phone during an important conversation, you're damaging a relationship. Every time you multitask during strategic thinking, you're making worse decisions. Every time you let your mind wander during learning opportunities, you're falling behind people who know how to pay attention. Your brain wasn't designed for the modern world. For thousands of years, humans needed to notice every movement, every sound, every potential threat in their environment. This served us well when predators were hunting us. But now, this same survival mechanism is destroying our ability to think deeply work effectively, and connect meaningfully with other people. The multitasking myth is killing your potential. Your brain cannot do two cognitive tasks at the same time. What feels like multitasking is actually task supping every time you switch tasks. Your brain needs recovery time to refocus. Scientists call this attention residue. Part of your mind stays stuck on the previous task even after you've moved on to the next one. The cost is enormous. Stanford University research shows that people who multitask regularly perform worse on every measure of cognitive ability. They have trouble filtering relevant information from irrelevant information. They manage their memory less efficiently. They're slower at switching between tasks, even though switching is what they do all day long. But the damage goes far beyond productivity. Jennifer, a marketing executive, discovered this the hard way. She prided herself on handling multiple projects simultaneously. She could run 3 client calls while checking email and planning her next campaign. She thought this made her valuable, indispensable. Then her marriage started falling apart. Her husband complained that she never really listened to him. Her children learned to expect half her attention at best. Her team at work began making decisions without consulting her because they knew she wouldn't be fully present anyway. Jennifer's ability to juggle multiple tasks had become her inability to be fully present for anything that mattered. The breakthrough came when Jennifer's doctor told her that her stress hormones were off the charts. Her blood pressure was dangerous, her sleep was terrible, her immune system was compromised. The constant mental switching had put her body into permanent fight or flight mode. This is your wake-up call. Your scattered attention isn't just hurting your career, it's damaging your health, your relationships, and your sense of accomplishment. You know the feeling. You work hard all day, but at the end of the day, you can't point to anything significant you've actually completed. The good news is that focus is a skill, not a talent. Some people seem naturally focused, but that's usually because they learned good attention habits early in life. The rest of us can learn these same habits at any age. Your brain has something called neuroplasticity. This means it can literally rewire itself based on how you use it. When you train your brain to focus, amazing things start happening. Your work quality improves dramatically. You complete projects faster and better. You make clearer decisions. You remember information more effectively. You become more creative because creativity requires sustained attention to develop ideas fully. But most importantly, you regain control over your own mind. Instead of being pulled in every direction by external distractions and internal worries, you choose where to direct your mental energy. This choice, this ability to focus on what matters most, is the foundation of all success, all happiness, and all achievement. You choose where to direct your mind. You choose. The solution isn't complicated, but it is systematic. There are 4 pillars that support laser-sharp focus. These pillars work together to create an unshakable foundation for mental clarity and sustained attention. Master these 4 pillars, and you'll join the ranks of people who get extraordinary results while others struggle with ordinary efforts. The first pillar is environmental mastery. Your surroundings control your focus more powerfully than your willpower ever could. Most people try to focus through sheer mental effort while sitting in environments designed to scatter their attention. This is like trying to diet while keeping ice cream in your freezer. It might work for a day or two, but eventually your environment will win. Look around your workspace right now. How many potential distractions can you count? Your smartphone, probably within arm's reach. Multiple browser tabs open on your computer. Papers scattered across your desk. Background noise from conversations. Traffic or music. Your brain is processing all of this information simultaneously, whether you realize it or not. The most focused people in the world are ruthless about their environments. They understand that every object, every sound, every visual element in their workspace either supports their focus or destroys it. There's no neutral ground. Start with the smartphone quarantine. Your phone is the single greatest threat to your focus. The average person receives 67 notifications per day. Each notification doesn't just interrupt you for the few seconds it takes to check it. Research shows that it takes an average of 23 minutes to fully refocus after an interruption. That means if you're getting interrupted every 6 minutes, you never actually achieve focus at all. Thomas discovered this the hard way. He was a freelance writer struggling to complete articles on deadline. He'd sit down to write, and within minutes, his phone would buzz with a text message, an email notification, or a social media alert. He told himself he'd just check it quickly and get back to writing. 3 hours later, he'd realize he'd written only 2 paragraphs. The solution was radical but simple. Thomas put his phone in a drawer in another room during his writing sessions. The first day was agony. His brain kept expecting those dopamine hits from checking notifications. But by the 3rd day, something remarkable happened. He wrote more in 4 hours than he typically wrote in 2 days. Within a month, he had tripled his output and doubled his income. Create focus zones in your environment. Designate specific areas for specific types of work. Your brain learns to associate locations with behaviors. When you always check email in one location and do creative work in another, your mind automatically shifts into the appropriate mode based on where you are. The second pillar is the single task revolution. Multitasking is mental suicide disguised as efficiency. Every time you switch between tasks, you're forcing your brain to restart, refocus, and rebuild the neural pathways needed for the new activity. This switching cost is enormous. But most people never calculate it. The solution is batching. Group similar activities together and complete them in focused blocks instead of checking email throughout the day. Designate 2 or 3 specific times for email processing. Instead of making phone calls randomly between other tasks, batch all your calls into one focused session. Amanda, a CEO of a growing company, was drowning in constant interruptions. Her typical day involved jumping between email, phone calls, meetings, and strategic planning. She felt busy but accomplished nothing significant. Her stress levels were through the roof, and her decision-making was suffering. She implemented a radical batching system. Mornings from 8 to 10 were reserved for strategic thinking only. No email, no phone calls, no meetings. From 10 to 12, she handled all communications in one focused session. Afternoons were for meetings and team interactions. The result was remarkable. Her stress dropped by 60%. Her strategic thinking improved dramatically, and her company's performance soared when interruptions do occur. Use the protection protocol. Acknowledge the interruption, determine if it's truly urgent, and if not, schedule a specific time to address it later. Most interruptions feel urgent, but aren't actually important. The third pillar is energy management over time management. Your brain doesn't operate at the same level throughout the day. You have natural peaks and valleys of mental energy. Most people fight against these natural rhythms instead of working with them. Your brain operates in 90-minute cycles called ultradian rhythms. During the first part of each cycle, your focus and energy are high. During the last part, they naturally decline. Fighting this rhythm is exhausting and counterproductive. Working with it multiplies your effectiveness. Michael, a software programmer, used to force himself to code for 8 straight hours, taking breaks only when absolutely necessary. By mid-afternoon, his productivity crashed. He'd spend hours debugging code that he could have written correctly in the morning. He felt like a failure because he couldn't maintain consistent energy all day. When Michael learned about ultradian rhythms, everything changed. He scheduled his most complex coding tasks during his peak energy hours in the morning. He used his lower energy periods for email, documentation, and planning. He took real breaks between cycles, allowing his brain to recharge. His productivity doubled, and his afternoon energy crashes disappeared. Nutrition fuels focus. Your brain consumes 20% of your body's energy. When your blood sugar spikes and crashes, your attention spikes and crashes with it. Stable blood sugar means stable attention. Protein and complex carbohydrates provide sustained energy. Simple sugars and caffeine create energy roller coasters that destroy sustained focus. Exercise is the ultimate focus enhancer. Physical activity increases blood flow to the brain, releases chemicals that improve mood and concentration, and literally grows new brain cells in areas responsible for attention and memory. Even a 10-minute walk can restore your ability to focus for hours. The fourth pillar is mental training. Focus is a muscle that gets stronger with exercise and weaker with neglect. Most people expect their attention to be strong without ever training it. This is like expecting to run a marathon without ever going for a jog. Meditation is focus training in its purest form. You don't need to sit in lotus position for hours. Even 5 minutes of daily attention training will strengthen your ability to notice when your mind wanders and gently bring it back to what matters. Lisa, a busy mother of 3, thought meditation was impossible with her chaotic schedule. She started with just 2 minutes each morning, focusing on her breathing before the kids woke up. Within 2 weeks, she noticed she could stay present during conversations instead of mentally planning the next task. Within a month, she was completing projects that had been sitting unfinished for years. The mental training had given her the ability to focus despite external chaos. These 4 pillars work together to create unshakable focus. Environmental mastery removes external distractions. Single tacking eliminates internal switching costs. Energy management aligns your activities with your natural rhythms. Mental training strengthens your ability to sustain attention over time. Master all 4, and you'll have the focus of a champion. Knowing these 4 pillars is worthless without a systematic way to implement them. Most people get excited about new strategies, try them for a few days, then fall back into old patterns when life gets busy or stressful. This is why you need a proven system that accounts for human nature and the reality of changing deeply ingrained habits. The 21-day Focus Challenge is your roadmap to transformation. Scientists have studied habit formation extensively, and the research is clear. It takes a minimum of 21 days to begin rewiring the neural pathways in your brain. Some habits take longer. But 21 days is the foundation. This isn't about perfection for 3 weeks. It's about consistent progress that builds momentum and creates lasting change. Week 1 is about environmental cleanup and single tasking practice. This is where most people want to skip ahead because it seems too simple. Don't make this mistake. The fundamentals are fundamental for a reason. Start by removing every unnecessary distraction from your primary workspace. Your phone goes in a drawer or another room during focused work sessions. Your computer should have only the applications open that you need for your current task. Clear your desk of everything except what you're working on right now. Practice single tasking with small activities first. When you eat, just eat. Don't read emails or watch videos. When you're in conversation, just listen. Don't mentally prepare your response or think about your next meeting. When you're walking, just walk. Don't check your phone or plan your day. These seem like tiny changes, but they're retraining your brain to focus on one thing at a time. Week 2 introduces energy optimization and rhythm finding. Start tracking your energy levels every hour for 7 days. Rate your mental clarity and focus on a scale of 1 to 10. Most people discover patterns they never noticed before. Some people are sharp first thing in the morning but crash after lunch. Others need an hour to wake up but have sustained energy throughout the afternoon. Schedule your most important work during your peak energy hours. This single change can double your effectiveness overnight if you're a morning person. Stop wasting your best hours on email and administrative tasks. If you're more alert in the afternoon, stop forcing yourself to do creative work first thing in the morning. Optimize your nutrition for sustained focus. Eat protein and complex carbohydrates at regular intervals. Cut back on sugar and simple carbohydrates that create energy spikes and crashes. Stay hydrated throughout the day. Even mild dehydration impairs cognitive function significantly. Add movement to your daily routine. This doesn't mean joining a gym or running marathons. It means taking short walks, doing desk stretches, or climbing stairs instead of taking elevators. Movement increases blood flow to your brain and helps maintain steady energy levels throughout the day. Week 3 focuses on mental training and advanced techniques. Start each day with 5 minutes of attention training. Sit quietly and focus on your breathing. When your mind wanders, gently bring it back to your breath. This isn't about achieving some mystical state. It's about strengthening your ability to notice when your attention drifts and redirect it to where you want it to go. Implement the Pomodoro technique for demanding tasks. Work in focused 25-minute sessions followed by 5-minute breaks. After 4 sessions, take a longer 15-30-minute break. This rhythm matches your brain's natural attention cycles and prevents the mental fatigue that leads to distraction-seeking behavior. Patricia, a sales manager, was skeptical about the 21-day challenge. Her team was underperforming, her stress was through the roof, and she didn't believe simple techniques could solve complex problems. But her current approach wasn't working, so she committed to the full 3 weeks. Week 1 was harder than she expected. Putting her phone away during client calls felt unnatural. She kept reaching for it out of habit. Single tacking during team meetings revealed how much she typically missed when her attention was divided. But by day 7, she noticed she was remembering more details from conversations and making fewer mistakes on routine tasks. Week 2 brought dramatic changes. Patricia discovered she was most alert between 9 and 11 a.m. So she rescheduled her most important client calls for that time window. She stopped scheduling back-to-back meetings and built in buffer time to process information between interactions. Her decision-making improved, and her stress levels dropped noticeably. Week 3 was when everything clicked. Patricia's morning attention training helped her stay calm during difficult conversations. The Pomodoro technique allowed her to complete administrative tasks in half the time. Her team noticed the changes and started asking about her new approach. By the end of the month, her team's sales performance had improved by 35%. But here's the crucial truth about implementing these changes. Your brain will fight you. For years, it has been trained to seek distraction, to jump between tasks, to respond immediately to every notification and interruption. This isn't a character flaw. It's a conditioned response that served a purpose in your life. The addiction to distraction is real. Every time you check your phone, your brain releases a small hit of dopamine. Every time you switch tasks, you get a brief sense of accomplishment, even if you're not actually accomplishing anything meaningful. Breaking this cycle feels uncomfortable at first. Your family and colleagues might resist your new boundaries. When you stop responding to non-urgent messages immediately, some people will complain. When you're no longer available for every interruption, some people will push back. This resistance is normal and temporary. Most people will quickly adapt to your new standards once they see you're serious about maintaining them. When you slip back into old habits, use the relapse protocol. Don't abandon the entire system because you had one unfocused day. Acknowledge what happened, identify the trigger that led to the relapse, and get back on track immediately. Progress isn't linear, and expecting perfection will sabotage your success. Building support systems accelerates your progress. Find someone who will hold you accountable to your focus goals. Share your 21-day challenge with a colleague, friend, or family member who will check in on your progress. Better yet, find someone who will do the challenge with you. When you're tempted to give up, having someone else invested in your success makes all the difference. Advanced strategies come after you've mastered the basics. Deep work scheduling means blocking out 2 to 4 hour periods for your most important projects. During these blocks, you're completely unavailable for meetings, calls, or non-emergency interruptions. Use technology to enhance focus rather than destroy it. Apps that block distracting websites rather than destroy it. Apps that stop distracting /noise headphones, and productivity timers become tools for success instead of sources of distraction. Learn the art of saying no to preserve your mental energy. Every yes to something unimportant is a no to something that matters. Your attention is your most valuable resource, and like any valuable resource, it must be carefully invested, not carelessly spent. This system works, but only if you work the system. The next 3 weeks will determine whether you join the ranks of highly focused achievers or remain stuck in the cycle of busy but unproductive days. The compound effect of sustained focus will transform every area of your life in ways you can't yet comprehend. Most people underestimate the power of small, consistent improvements in their ability to concentrate. They expect dramatic changes overnight. But real transformation happens gradually, then suddenly. Think about compound interest in your bank account. $1 invested today doesn't seem like much, but over time, with consistent additions and compound growth, that dollar becomes hundreds, then thousands. Your focus works the same way. Every minute you spend fully concentrated on important work compounds into hours of deep productivity. Every day of intentional attention builds into weeks of extraordinary results. Rachel understood this principle better than most. She started as a third-grade teacher in an underfunded school district. The challenges were overwhelming. 30 students in her classroom, outdated textbooks, constant interruptions from administrators and parents. Most teachers in her situation felt defeated before the day even began. But Rachel applied the 4 pillars of focus to her teaching. She transformed her classroom into a distraction-free learning environment. She batched her lesson planning and grading into focused blocks instead of spreading these tasks throughout her day. She scheduled the most challenging subjects during her peak energy hours and her students' peak attention spans. The results were remarkable. Her students' test scores improved dramatically, their behavior problems decreased, parents began requesting Rachel specifically for their children, other teachers started asking for her advice. Within 3 years, she was promoted to vice principal. 2 years later, she became the youngest principal in her district's history. Rachel's secret wasn't working harder than other teachers. She was working with sustained focus while others were working with scattered attention. The compound effect of this difference accumulated into career acceleration that seemed almost magical to outside observers. Your career will follow the same trajectory when you master sustained focus. Deep work becomes your competitive advantage in an economy where most people have forgotten how to think deeply, while your colleagues jump from meeting to meeting, from email to email, from crisis to crisis. You'll be solving complex problems and creating innovative solutions. The financial impact is substantial. Focused individuals make better decisions because they can think through consequences without mental interference. They spot opportunities others miss because their minds aren't cluttered with distractions. They negotiate more effectively because they can listen completely to what the other person is actually saying rather than preparing their next response. Your relationships will transform when you become fully present. Your spouse will feel truly heard for the first time in years. Your children will have your complete attention instead of competing with your smartphone for fragments of awareness. Your friends will seek you out because conversations with you will feel meaningful and refreshing. William experienced this transformation firsthand As a middle manager in a large corporation, he was known for always seeming distracted during meetings. His team learned not to expect real feedback from him because he was usually thinking about 3 other projects while they were talking. His family complained that he was physically present but mentally absent during dinners and family activities when William implemented the focus system. Everything changed. He started giving his complete attention to whoever was speaking in meetings. His questions became more insightful. His feedback became more valuable. His team's performance improved because they felt heard and supported at home. William put his phone in a drawer during family time. He listened to his children's stories about school with genuine interest. He had real conversations with his wife about their goals and dreams. Within 6 months, his family relationships were stronger than they had been in years. But the transformation went further. William's boss noticed his improved performance and increased engagement. His strategic thinking became sharper. His problem-solving abilities improved dramatically. He was promoted to senior management within a year with a salary increase that more than justified the effort he had invested in developing focus. Creating your personal focus system means customizing these principles to fit your unique situation and challenges. Your morning routine should prepare your mind for focused work. This might mean meditation, exercise, journaling, or simply eating breakfast without checking email. The specific activities matter less than the intention to start each day with clarity and purpose. Your evening ritual should help you disconnect from the day's demands and prepare for restorative sleep. Turn off screens an hour before bedtime, review the day's accomplishments, and plan tomorrow's priorities. Read something inspiring or relaxing. Your brain needs downtime to process information and recharge for the next day's focused work. Weekend practices prevent the Monday morning mental scramble that destroys focus. Spend some time each weekend reviewing the previous week's progress and planning the upcoming week's priorities. This preparation allows you to start each week with clarity instead of confusion. When you travel, maintain your focus practices. Pack noise-canceling headphones. Download focused work materials before you leave. Use travel time for deep thinking instead of mindless entertainment. Business travel can become some of your most productive time if you approach it systematically. Your influence will expand far beyond your personal success. Focused individuals become natural leaders because people are drawn to those who can think clearly and stay calm under pressure. Your example will inspire family members, colleagues, and friends to examine their own attention habits. Children especially benefit from learning focus skills early. When you model sustained attention, you're teaching them one of the most valuable life skills they can develop. In a world full of distracted adults, focused children will have enormous advantages in school, relationships, and eventually their careers. Organizations led by focused individuals develop cultures of excellence. When the leader can think strategically and pay attention to what matters most, the entire team operates at a higher level. Meetings become more productive, projects get completed on time and within budget, innovation increases because people have the mental space to develop creative solutions. But here's the truth that changes everything. You already know what you need to do. You've learned the 4 pillars. You understand the 21-day implementation system. You've seen the examples of people who have transformed their lives through sustained focus. The only question remaining is whether you'll act on this knowledge or file it away with all the other good intentions that never became reality. Your next 24 hours will reveal who you really are, not who you hope to be, not who you plan to become, but who you are right now. Focused people take immediate action on important information. Distracted people wait for the perfect moment that never comes. Right now, before you do anything else, choose one specific action from what you've learned today. Put your phone in another room. Clear your desk of everything except your most important project. Block out 2 hours tomorrow morning for deep work on your highest priority goal. Schedule a specific time to begin your 21-day focus challenge. Don't wait until Monday. Don't wait until next month. Don't wait until your life becomes less busy or less stressful. That day will never come. The perfect conditions for change exist only in your imagination. The real conditions for change exist right here, right now, in this moment. Your focused life begins with your next decision. Make it count.